Hello, Huggies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today we're going to talk a little bit about RF radiation and radiation hazards. RF radiation that amateur radio operators use is non-ionizing radiation. It is not like the radioactivity you get out of a nuclear power plant or something like that. It's interesting. I went through a nuclear medicine test recently where they gave me a shot of something that was radioactive, and it's supposed to go highlight certain things in the body depending on the metabolism. They took the pictures and let me go. And I came home and thought, well, that'd be kind of fun to check with a Geiger counter, see if I can even see if the radiation is above background level. Well, let me tell you, it was so far above background level that the little Geiger counter just went straight into alarm and was with beeps and everything like that. And I looked at the levels I was reading, and all of them were, if they were continuous levels, that would be too high. Now, I didn't get radiation sickness from it or anything like that because the thing decays so quickly. So the total dose of radiation was about that of a dental x-ray, all total. It was interesting, and they found out whatever they wanted to find out. But that was ionizing radiation. Now, ionizing radiation is the kind of radiation that can knock electrons out of their orbits and ionize atoms in your body or in whatever. And that can create problems, like if some of the alpha, beta, or gamma rays hit your DNA. It can knock something out of line there and cause a mutation. So we don't like to do that. But fortunately, all of ham radio is non-ionizing radiation, meaning that what it does to tissue is heat it. And now some tissue can be heated without any kind of a problem. After all, our body has its own internal furnace built in. And we keep our body's temperature at a nice 98.6. Actually, I think they're revising that down a little bit now, because I've never had that. The heat is the problem. Now, I got a question from John Lynn from Alaska. He said, I was delighted to see the RF exposure calculator on the ARRL website. And that's a good thing now. It used to be on somebody's private website. Now it's moved up there at the ARRL. He says he plugged into the computer the parameters for a 5-watt FM handheld on 147 megahertz using a quarter wave whip with 1.5 dBi gain, which is actually a loss over a dipole, and found that the minimum safe distance was over 1 foot. Now, how do you talk into a handheld and keep it a foot away? And he says, this is a real concern since I hold the radio closer than that, and the antenna is at eye level. The eyes are the greatest risk to RF exposure. The problem is that the sclera in our eyes is very much like the white in an egg yolk. You know, if you crack an egg yolk, crack an egg, and it all comes out into the frying pan, the stuff that the yolk floats in stays clear and clingy, okay, as you heat it, and then suddenly it turns white. And that's what happens with your eyes if you get exposed to microwave radiation and stuff like that. Now, the body, the human body, let's say 6 foot tall. I've never been 6 foot tall. I'm 5'9", is about 2 meters in height. So if you're using a 2-meter handheld, you're transmitting it right next to a 2-meter dipole, or a double dipole. Yeah, and your upper trunk can act as half of that, and so on, depending on where it's the strongest. And we must note that we're in the near field here, too, of the antenna, which means that it's got about equal power all around everywhere as it forms itself into waves as it goes away. So he says, is there a problem there? The answer is yes, there's a problem there. A real, live, genuine problem. Millions of people, public safety, things like that, use handheld radios. This is the Anytone D878UV 3 Plus or something like that. Very nice little radio. Little on the pricey side, but if you do get an Anytone, get it from Bridgecom Systems because they offer support. But even the manual will say, here's your push-to-talk button right here, okay? And you hold this up, and where's that antenna? It's right in front of your eyeball. So, I've seen some handhelds start to go up to 10 watts and stuff. That just doubles the problem with the heating. You're going to heat your body tissue with this thing. If you keep it a foot away, which is still in the near field, so I don't trust that calculation because it's really for far field exposure. What do? Well, I'm going to make two suggestions. One, turn it upside down. Notice where the antenna is when I talk into it this way. Now, the push to talk is over here, so I've seen a lot of people use their non-dominant hand, and they can push the talk right here, and the antenna at least is down here or there. It's also possible to do it this way so the antenna points straight away from you. I have seen public service people use that. I've not seen hams use that. I think that is something that we can adopt. The other thing that's a little bit more of a problem is you can plug in, and let's see if this radio will accept this. It's just a demonstration here. Plug in a speaker mic and hold the antenna, hold the radio to the side, wherever you want to put it, and use the speaker mic for push to talk. Okay, that works too. In fact, that's something that's suggested by the technician section on RF safety in the technician study manual. Okay, you can also leave this on your belt, in which case you're irradiating your kidneys or whatever, but the thing to do is to get it away from your body. Now, since we're talking about 2 meters, the other thing, I know the Anytones tend to come with, there's some accessories you can get. You can get a little mic, or it's an earphone that goes over your ear, and it hangs down about here. It's got a push-to-talk button here, okay, so that it's always there and you can hear it anytime you need to hear it. They've also got the kind that do it with a little white plastic tubing. The actual transducer is at one end, the other end goes into your ear, so that keeps the stuff away from your head a little bit too. So also you can reduce power. If you can hit your repeater with only 3 watts, why go with 5? Keep it to the point where it's minimized. Now there's something else that I wanted to point out to you, and that's a car. So here's a car, and I will not admit to any great I think that wheel might have a little trouble with it. Okay, here's a car. Now suppose you put a mag mount antenna up here. MFJ makes them. They're about 30 bucks. They're cheap. You can get them just about anywhere. DX Engineering probably has a selection of them. Okay, and if they've got the little coil down here, they're both 2 meters and 470 centimeters. Okay. Now, your radio down here, all the modern radios have 50 watts out. Why? I don't know. It's a marketing ploy. It used to be that they'd be 25 watts, and you put that with the 2-meter antenna, and you can communicate to the radio horizon without a problem. Okay? But people have gone up to 50 watts. Well, these things are usually 5 watts. Now let's go over to 50 watts coming out here. We have 10 dB of additional signal strength. So if you plug that into the formulas, you will find that bystanders need to be about 20 feet away. Now, if you're in a parking lot, you're at a public event or something like that, people are not 20 feet away. And they're being exposed to this radiation, and it's greater than safe levels at less than 20 feet away. Meaning, if somebody's talking to you through the driver's seat, their top of their head's getting quite a bit. If they get out a little ways from the car, they get the whole blast over their whole body. So you got to watch this. In theory, you should keep these cars away. Another way to do it is just cut the power back. If you cut this back to 5 watts, and this is a unity gain antenna, it's just a vertical. Okay, so, and 5 watts, this problem comes in much more here. It doesn't extend out this far. Now, 5 watts with a unity gain antenna, in other words, a vertical, okay, and that's the same as using a handheld with like a 19-inch whip on it, and people can get much closer. So this is the thing that amateur radio is going to have to grapple with the new emphasis on RFI, or RF safety from the FCC and from others, is that 2 meters is the problem. 2 meters, it actually goes down with 440. Less of a problem on 70 centimeters. Okay? So be careful with your 2 meter. If you are concerned about this, if you only rarely use a handheld, no problem. If you frequently use your handheld, like you're doing DMR or something like that, it's something to be aware of, that there is this little sneaky safety issue floating around. Well, there you have it. That's a very good question from John Lynn. Let's see if we can find his call sign. No, it just says John. Okay. And he had a concern there, which he expressed, and he's up in Anchorage in Alaska. So now you know. If watchers would like to support this channel financially, you certainly can. Go to dcastler.com/support. Support, the word support lowercase. And there are several ways there you can do it, from a simple tip, one-time tip, any number of $1 that you want. So you can do a $1 tip, $5 tip, $10 tip. The highest I've ever had is unbelievably high. I was amazed. But you'll get a thank you note for that via email. And I've got my assistant in charge to make sure that all tips and things offered to the channel are noticed. You can also sign up for Patreon there. You can also get the thumb drives that have the lessons on them from there, if you would find that to be a more convenient way to do that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the drawing. By the time you see this drawing, one will have taken place, and this is a new feature of the channel. People, you can send, and this is what I've gotten so far for drawing one. Drawing one takes place tomorrow evening. So I'm going to go down to the post office tomorrow and pick up the last of those entries that can make it in. They have to be in my hands tomorrow because the drawing's tomorrow evening during the live stream. I don't know how many are here, but there's a bunch. And we're going to do live stream number, nope. See how complicated I can make it. Drawing number 2. I'm giving away one thing from my studio. This is not, drawing number 1 was not a book for everybody. It's a book for one person, okay? And this is not an antenna for everybody. It's an antenna for one person. So there's a drawing. So what you need to do is send to me. This is drawing number 2. This is an myantennas.com NFED half-wave 8010 1K. This is a very nice antenna. I bought this with channel funds. I tested it thoroughly. I'm extremely impressed. It's quite an antenna. And I have taken it down, so it's a little dusty. Okay. I've taken it down and am going to make this the number 2 giveaway. So this is how it works. I've got to thin the herd in the study here. There's too much stuff here. So I'm announcing the second giveaway to hams in the USA. And I say in the USA because postage outside the USA is crazy. Let's see, the item to be given away this time, this is giveaway number 2, is this myantennas.com NFED half-wave antenna. Covers 80 meters, a small portion of 80 meters, the part that has FT8, all the way up to 10 meters. It's an amazing antenna. And here's how the giveaway works. It's totally free to you, except for the cost of a postcard. Send a postcard. Very few people send actual postcards. I think a lot of people don't even realize the post office still makes them. QSL card, so postcard, QSL card, or simple one-page letter by snail mail to P.O. Box 98, Ridgeway, Colorado, 81432. On whatever you send, make sure to include the giveaway number, in this case, number 2. Also include your name and call sign and shipping address. Please include your phone number in case I have questions. Now, please nothing else, though if you want to send a picture of you and your station, I may be able to show those during the live stream. Electronic submissions will not be accepted. So don't send me an email and say, hey, print this. No, you send me the postcard. Okay, electronic, the drawing will take place on the live stream held on the last Thursday in September. Let's see if we can figure out when that is. Which will be the 24th. No, the 23rd. 23rd, I think that's Thanksgiving Day. Okay, so it'll be on that day. And whoever name I draw from here, I will send. These are just the instructions. I'm sending the antenna with it too, not just the instructions. And it will go into the postage the next day. Now, after the drawing, all entries will be discarded and no information will be kept or transcribed. So I don't sell the mailing list or anything like that. It goes in the trash. That's it. It's gone. So there you have it. If you would like to help support this channel, you may do so by going to dcastler.com/support and picking a way that you find most helpful. Please also subscribe and bell and click like. Don't forget to comment. Until we next meet, 73.